Or
There is. It's not as. It's actually a lot bigger than what we currently let people do.
Oh, okay.
So right now we have it capped at relatively small. I think a user can go to 100 by 100, maybe 200 by 200, which isn't that large. Even the original UO map was 4,000 by 4,000.
Okay.
Right? But we internally have tested maps a lot larger than that. Same thing. We currently have people limited in how many people can be in their world at once. And you know, if you're a subscriber, you get an event pass, you can get larger numbers,
right.
50, 100. But we've tested with hundreds and hundreds of people in a zone.
So over time, it's going to open up more and more. Cool.
That's right. But you know, we're trying to take it stepwise. Right now, most worlds don't have a lot of people in them, so we haven't. You know, if we unlock it to 500 people, then you know, everybody gets that for free. We got to figure out what the cost structure around that is.
Right. Right.
But yeah, to go back to what you were saying about the worldy games, you know, because it is sort of, and MetaPlace, I guess, is in that tradition. It's like this subcurrent within the MMO market, right? I mean, you have UO, you have Galaxies, you have Eve, and you have had a few other games that feel more like an immersive world and less like that theme park model,
right.
which I think is...
They have some of those simi qualities to it.
It has some of those simi qualities. Fallen Earth is one that I'm hearing people buzz about now. Yeah. And you know, it's interesting because it's never been the dominant mode, except for brief windows like when UO was the only thing on the market. But it's never been the dominant mode. But I do think it's, I don't think it's ever going away. And I think people always worry that it's going to go away, but I don't think it will.
I think that community worries a lot about it because they, you know, a lot of them come and kind of, they don't catch on and they're just afraid. And I think for people who have experienced it and kind of gotten to that level, the immersive experience that they have in these games is so much more rich that that's what they want to bring back to their gaming.
Although, you know, if you ask community managers, there's this thing going around the industry about, gosh, so if you were community on a worldy game, watch out.
Yeah.
It's because the users are so much more invested and passionate about it. They're so much more participatory in trying to set the direction of the game and interacting with the devs and all the rest.
Yeah, I'm looking at a game. There's a Mortal Online from these guys in Sweden, small company. I'm looking at that kind of closely because they you know, their Bible is basically UO and Eve. So it's like if that's on the ground and that works, and it's going to be a first-person apparently MMO. So hopefully they get that together.
Yeah, you know, there's actually some folks, Eve players, who are in MetaPlace as well, who are running a contest for building Eve-themed worlds to use as stations.
Wow, I was going to say, is that they're walking in stations early?
Yeah.
We're tired of waiting for CCP. Let's have our own walking in stations in MetaPlace.
Yeah, just come over to MetaPlace and that can be your station.
And we'll hang out, and that's very cool.
And embed it on their, you know, their guild site or whatever.
Where do you see virtual worlds and MMOs in 10 years?
You know, 10 years is too big a time.
It's too far?
Yeah,
I've gotten that more than once today. That's too much.
Yeah, the reason it's too much, let me give you an example. You know, before 1995, we had MMOs, right? I mean, UO was not the beginning.
Right.
So in the 70s, we had stuff on Play-Doh. It was kind of proto-virtual worlds, right? Then MUDs came along in 78, 79. And from there, 78, 79 was kind of the MUD decade. There were a couple of graphical things that were, you know, coming along, early Kesmai and stuff like that. And then you got online services really kicking off. By 85, we had Habitat, which didn't take off right off the bat. But there was a generational shift, and the business opportunities moved to online services, right? And some of the stuff that could have made it didn't make the change. Then the online services dominated till around 97. And then there was a shift. Everything moved to the internet. UO was at the vanguard of that, but so were, you know, well, I mean inflection point. I mean Kingdom of the Winds, Dark Ages, Lineage, all in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
EverQuest, Asheron's Call, UO, Rubies of Eventide, Illusia, The Realm, were all started as teams within like 6 months of one another. They all shipped at different times. They all started at the same time. There was like Meridian 59, all those. It's time. And you know what? Almost none of the online services-based companies, the only one that's still around is Simultronics. They all died. Because the business model changed, the designs changed to accommodate internet, flat fee, all of this stuff.
Right.
Well, we've been running on that and WoW is kind of the ultimate of that. And you know what? The meteors hit again, because today MMOs they have moved already. They've moved to social, they've moved to web. You know, The AAA MMO
and they're moving to free
is the time of the past, right? So moving to free-to-play, to microtransactions, to web-based, download, all of that kind of thing. It's already happened.
So this is the next. We're in the middle of the big shift. We're in the middle
of the couple of first years of the shift.
Everyone's working behind the scenes right now on the big shift.
That's right.
We're probably going to see it in the next
That's right.
2 years.
Yesterday, SOE at their keynote said, we're making a Facebook MMO. If we add up...
I wasn't there. I heard they dropped that out of it was kind of an odd place, right? He's just like, we're making it a Facebook.
If you add up all of the people playing MMOs of one sort or another right now, right? And we don't like thinking about this because it sounds like the games we love will go away, right? If you add them all up, 90% of all MMO players today are A, under the age of 18, like 16, 13, that kind of thing. They're playing kids MMOs. They're playing free-to-play MMOs. And they're playing a whole bunch of free-to-play Korean MMOs that are imported. They're buying game cards in Target. They're playing Facebook social games. They're getting really damn MMO-like.
Yes.
Right? Farmville is like this close to being an MMO.